We'll be taking a look at Knowmia, which is a free app for you and your students on your iPad. Knowmia does ask you to create an account, but once you have, when you open it up as a teacher, you're taken immediately to your saved lessons. There's an introductory lesson where Knowmia takes you through all of its functionality and gives you an opportunity to practice how to use it. You also see then the lessons that you've saved and your chance to create a new lesson. When you create a new lesson, you select the aspect ratio, and from here you're taken to your whiteboard. In lesson info, this is where you can give your lesson a name, and by saving, that will take care of that. Click on one of your steps, and you're ready to go. You can have as many steps as you need, the things that you're going to focus on and take your students through. You can set them up ahead of time or leave them blank and put elements in them as you're making your recording. Your tools are available to you at the bottom. The first is a selection tool once you have elements on your slide. Your second tool is a pencil tool. By clicking and holding that, you're able to see a pencil, highlighter, or eraser and change the thickness. If you need to change the color, you use the color palette, which is also at the bottom, and choose your line color. Now, I can use my finger or my stylus and write. Next to the pencil tool is the shape tool. You'll want to make sure to visit that color palette again so that you have the fill and line color that you want for your shapes. Going back to my shapes, I can now choose the shape I want to use. Simply touch the screen and drag, and now I've created the shape. If I want to edit my shape, I can get the selection tool, tap on my shape, and now I've got a menu of things that I can do with my shape. I can move it to the back. Doing that, I select it again, and now using one finger, I can simply drag it across the slide to place it wherever I want. I can also use two fingers and pinch to make it smaller, or expand to make it larger. Next to that option, I have the option to add media. I can use the front or rear facing camera. I can paste something from my clipboard, or I can import media from my iPad photo library, my Dropbox, my Google Drive. I can even go online and choose images from the web. It will bring up the images. Tapping on one will allow me to download it, and I will immediately see that image on my lesson space. You can see that the image is selected by the gray dotted lines around it, and I have a menu of things I can do to it. I can move this to the back. I can, if I have my selection tool, tap and select it again, and I can resize it the same way by pinching. I can also take two fingers and rotate my image. I can edit the image. Editing allows me to do a few things that you see at the bottom, cropping it. Once I say OK, that will be done. And I can crop some more, so I'm getting just what I want. I can use the eraser to get rid of portions of it. When I'm done, I say OK, and now I have the picture that I want. You also see in the right bottom tray, props. What props are is the opportunity to add different images and graphics that you might pull in while you're making your recording. So this might be my introductory slide, but as I go, I might want to be adding other pictures. And it's very simple, importing media the very same ways that I imported this picture, adding what I want to use, tapping it, and it downloads it to my props. I can add as many props as I feel like I need. When I have my steps set up, it's time to record. I can record one slide at a time, or I can go from slide to slide. I decide whether or not I want my students to see me by sliding the face recording button. I can now move where I am. I can resize. I can also choose to use the rear facing camera. You do need to be careful. Once you have hit the record button, you cannot change the size or location of this face recording. So that's an option if you want your students to see you as you're speaking. When you're ready to record, make sure again that you're on the slide that you want to record. Tap the record button, And now you can see up in slide 1 that there is a number showing me how many seconds I've been recording. I can begin talking about what's on here. If I want to point things out, down the bottom, the little red dot is a pointer tool. And so I can use it almost like a laser pointer. I can have 2 fingers, so I can be pointing 2 things at once. I can, while I'm recording, be choosing and moving elements. I can bring new elements in and continue to talk about those. I can go to my next slide, and it'll show that we're moving to the next step. And now I can begin talking about our next topic. Again, all the same functionality. When I'm ready to go to the third slide, I can do that, and so on. When I'm done with my recording, I can hit the stop button, but I can also pause at any time, going back to record when I'm ready. And it will pick up right where I left off. Once I stop, you can see that it's created my movie. If I realize that my slides are in the wrong order, what I can do is tap and hold any of the slides in the tray, and I get various options. Moving is one of them. So if I need it in a different order, I can move my slides. I can clear a slide. I can duplicate a slide, delete slides, and that's very helpful. Once I've finished everything, in the upper right-hand corner is my Save button, remembering that I can come back to this at any time and continue to edit. If you're interested in trying Knowmia for your classroom, it is, again, a free download from the App Store, and once you have it, I highly recommend the introductory lesson, which will give you a much broader overview of the things that you can do, and then what you can do once you've recorded your lesson.